So before all this craziness, we asked the kids in our youth group to think of questions they had about the Christian faith, about Jesus and about just life in general. And not many of them were brave enough to answer, but a girl called Izzy gave us 5. But then the pandemic happened, and I said I promised her, because she's taken the time to write 5 excellent questions, that I'd get back to her, but I haven't had a chance. So I thought to myself, why not make a short series? So I'm going to be answering these 5 questions from Izzy, and they are: if the oldest religion is Vedic, why choose to follow Christianity? Number 2 is, if God spoke to you, how do you know it's the God of Christianity? Good question. 3, if God loved us and created the world, why were illnesses created? Number 4, if rumours get changed in matters of hours, how do you know Christianity and Jesus hasn't been changed? And 5, what's the evidence to prove Jesus was alive apart from people just saying Jesus was alive? Here at RGM, we encourage people to think and ask questions. Asking questions is so important. It's good to question what we believe. We should never believe anything without having good reasons to. So big up Izzy, we're going to answer her questions in a series of short videos, and I hope this encourages more people to be brave enough and curious enough to speak up.
God saw all that he had made, and behold, it was good.
If Vedic is the oldest religion, why choose Christianity? It's a great question. Christianity has only been around for about 2,000 years, but we know of other religious movements which go back further than that. Why don't we believe them instead? To answer this for Izzy, we need to break down her question by asking questions about her question. I'm about to give you a tool that you can use on every question you will ever hear. This tool will help you get to the core of what the question is actually asking, which will help you think about it clearly before trying to answer it. The tool is called
Welcome home, Ma.
Check the assumptions. Most questions come loaded with assumptions. Assumptions are things we think are true that may actually not be. For example, when you ask someone what time it is, you assume that they exist, that they aren't deaf, and that there is a concept called time that they can check for you. If your assumptions are right, the question is a valid one to ask. Now here are some questions a bit more like Izzy's question. If McDonald's has the best fast food, why go to KFC? So let's use our tool. This question assumes that McDonald's is the best, which is just
It's totally wrong. It's just like wrong. It's just wrong.
So when we have a
not
party,
true. It's just not true.
Sorry, Ronald. Here's another one. If London has older buildings, why live in Manchester? This question assumes that having older buildings is an important criteria for choosing a place to live. But is it really? It might be to someone who loves old buildings, but most people care about other factors like price and size. So if you get asked a question with a wrong assumption, you need to point it out before you answer. If you don't point it out, it looks like you accept the incorrect assumption when you actually don't. So you would say, old buildings don't really matter to me, and Manchester is much cheaper. So what is Izzy assuming when she asks if the oldest religion is Vedic, then why choose to follow Christianity? Can anyone see it? For a start, Izzy is assuming that Vedic is the oldest religion. Vedic might be the oldest religion that we have evidence for right now, but there were probably older faiths that haven't survived to tell the tale. Just because it's the oldest one we know about now doesn't mean it's actually the oldest one. But let's say that Vedic is in fact the oldest religion. Does that make it true? This leads on to assumption number 2. Izzy is assuming that the older something is, the more likely it is to be true. But is that a correct assumption? No, an old lie is still a lie even if there's a few thousand years behind it. So the answer to Izzy's question is that we can't tell whether something is true or not based on how old it is. We judge the truth of something based on how well it explains the evidence that is available to us. I gave my life to Jesus because Christianity gives us the best explanation for the life we find ourselves in, and I'm going to prove it in my up and coming Why series. So subscribe and hit that bell icon because you won't want to miss out. Cheers for watching. If you have any questions that you want addressing, please email them to reetgoodministries@gmail.com. Ta-ra for now, and may God lead us into all truth.
Behold, it was
Reet.